Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been months since I last posted. So this is basically gonna be like a life update. Also, I just wanted to post this video because if someone comes across it, maybe it can help them, because when I was in this situation in the beginning, I was looking up videos for information and for people to relate to. So basically, after I posted my last video, our son had some health issues for a couple months, and then once that passed, I was getting ready to deliver my second son, and from there is kind of when this all happened. So the day that I delivered my second son, it was really easy. I got to the hospital at like 5 or 6 a.m. I had him by 11:30. So after I had my son, I was having trouble breathing, kind of like. So after you have a baby, you can't go home until you use the restroom like 3 times by yourself. So I couldn't get up to use the restroom. As soon as I got up, I felt like passing out. The way that they explained it was, I guess some of the pain or irritation that I was having was similar to someone that had a C-section, so they gave me the same medication that they would give someone that had a C-section. I was scared because I just naturally overthink a lot, so I had asked them if they can do like tests on my chest just to make sure that like everything was fine before I went home, because I didn't want to go home and have this same problem. So they were they didn't really want to. They were like, I'm pretty sure like it's just your muscles, like you're fine, but I really wanted it. So they took me to run tests on my chest. It was an x-ray and a CT scan. They came back like maybe like 4 or 5 hours later, and they said, basically your chest looks fine, there's nothing blocking your airway, it's just your muscles, just take it slow, blah blah. And then they said, but we did find a tumor on your thyroid. So, and that was the day that I had my son. So that was basically when I found everything out. So from there was when I started looking up like tumors on your thyroid and looking up videos. I was looking them up on YouTube, TikTok, Google. I was looking up any information that I could find, because right there I just assumed the worst case scenario, which it did turn out to be. So um, that was on June 15th, and then it took me about a month to be able to get an appointment with an endocrinologist. I went to go see the endocrinologist. They did a biopsy on my thyroid, in which at the time, so I believe at the time that I delivered, there was only one tumor. And then at the time when I went to go see the endocrinologist, she did an ultrasound, and then there was two. So I believe that it had grown from during that month. And she did the biopsy on both. It really wasn't painful at all. They spray you with like some numbing spray, and then they just stab it like maybe like 30 times. Probably stab you 15 times each tumor. And since I had two, it was like about 30 times, but technically, I guess now that I'm thinking about it, I had three. So your thyroid is basically shaped like a butterfly. So there's like two wings, and then there's a little connecting piece. So on my right one, I had two tumors, and on the middle piece, I had one small growing one. Oh, she did the biopsy. It took about a week for it to come back. Once the time came, she called me and she told me um, they both came back malignant, which means it was thyroid cancer. Um, from then, I was really, really scared. I was really sad. I didn't really know what to think. I guess just because I didn't really find the information that I was looking for, it wasn't really coming from someone personal, like so I didn't find any videos that specifically came from someone who had been through it already. I found like articles on the internet, and like I actually found someone on TikTok that was going through the exact same thing, but it wasn't someone who had already been through it before. So, which is another reason why I wanted to make this video. Okay, so she called me, she told me, and then I was like hysterical crying over the phone. um I was like hyperventilating, I couldn't breathe, I couldn't think, I was so sad, I was such a wreck. So when she called me, she told me like a list of doctors that I needed to contact, a list of tests that I needed to get done for the next steps. So basically I went to go get a it's, I guess it's another ultrasound, but it's like a more in-depth ultrasound. So they do like my entire neck to see if there's any lymph nodes affected, which there was abnormal lymph nodes that were like swollen, larger than normal, I guess. So after that, I scheduled with the ENT, which is an ear, nose, and throat surgeon. I went and I had a consultation with her. She was really informative, she was really good, and she made me feel a lot better. I had never had surgery before, so this was going to be my first one. Um, so after the consultation, my surgery was about I would say like 2.5 weeks to 3 weeks later. The surgery itself, I think, was like 2 hours, and that's because of the lymph nodes that they had to take out. So they took out 50 lymph nodes, and they send the lymph nodes and the thyroid to pathology, and then pathology tests them and just gives a little bit more information. So in pathology's report, the lymph nodes came back. So there was 50 lymph nodes taken out, 25 of them came back positive, and then obviously the tumors came back positive, which we already knew that. My main concern with the surgery was that I didn't want to wake up nauseous or throwing up everywhere, so they gave me the nausea medicine. They also gave me pain medicine through my IV, and once I woke up, I didn't feel no pain, I wasn't nauseous. Right when I woke up, I walked to the restroom. I was completely fine. But during my surgery, so everybody has 4 parathyroid glands which produce calcium for your body, in which, because my tumors were by my parathyroid glands, 2 of my parathyroid glands got taken out, and then the other 2 were kind of damaged from the surgery. So it was going to take a while for them to wake up and start working again, and especially start working for the other 2 that were taken out. So they did tell me that it was a chance that I would have low calcium, but it shouldn't be that bad, and to just take the Tums, which is like a chewable calcium type of thing. It's also for acid reflux, I guess, so it's a mix of both. Anyways, they sent me home with that. I would take it when I would feel like I was having low calcium, which the symptoms of that was tingling like in your face, your mouth, your hands, um, your legs, your feet. And I was feeling tingly, but not something where it was like so bad that I was really concerned. So it wasn't until my second day after surgery that I was concerned about the calcium symptoms. So I would have somebody walk me to the restroom, and one of the times that I went to the restroom, so okay, so let me backtrack. So I would have somebody walk me to the restroom. When somebody would walk me to the restroom, I would get a little bit of like anxiety or panic attack, because I was like afraid to walk to the restroom because I didn't want to pass out, or I just felt really weak and like tingly everywhere. So one of the times that I went to the restroom, I think I had already like been working myself up too much, and I ended up freaking out, and like my whole body cramped up. I would say it was similar to stroke symptoms, but I guess not necessarily the same. So I was using the restroom, and my legs completely got stuck, my hands got stuck in fist, my face got stuck, the muscles in my tongue got stuck, so I couldn't talk. So at that point we called 911. They had to carry me onto this like seat, and then carry me with that down the stairs from my apartment, and then from there carry me onto the stretcher, and then take me to the hospital. And at the hospital, they just took me to the nearest one, and there they were giving me calcium through my IV as well as magnesium. It was helping me. I did feel a little bit better, but because it was surgery complications, Kaiser wanted me to go to their hospital and stay the night, in which I did stay the night, and then the next day I ended up feeling the same exact thing. and I ended up staying at Kaiser for 7 days. We were trying to find the right regimen to send me home with, because most of the time that I was there, they were giving me calcium through my IV, in which at home I can't take calcium through the IV. So they wanted to find me something that would keep me okay at home. During those 7 days at the hospital, I did have another episode, so they saw it firsthand. And also, one of the doctors mentioned that I had happened to have one of the lowest calcium levels that they had ever seen, and because of that, they were really worried to send me home. It was like the absolute longest 7 days of my life. I cried every day I wanted to come home. But I knew that if I came home, I would end up right back if we didn't find the right regimen. So they ended up sending me home with the highest dose of calcium that a person can take, um, with 1 milliliters of calcitriol, which is to activate your parathyroid glands. And then they also sent me home with 5 milliliters of acetate. And then they also sent me home with 800 milligrams, I think, of magnesium, because your magnesium needs to be kept up in order to keep your calcium up. Um, and then also with my hormone medication that I will be taking for the rest of my life, because my thyroid is taken out. So ever since I got home, I've been feeling great. I've been sticking to the medication. The only thing I can say is that sometimes my kidneys do hurt, and I think it's just because I'm taking a lot of medication. Before this entire incident, I've never taken medication before. I don't usually take like Tylenol or Advil for cramps or headaches. I usually just stick it out, so I don't think my body is really used to taking so much medication, and that's why it's a little bit painful to my kidney. Keeping an eye on my calcium levels, so I've got my blood drawn a few times just to ensure that it's still staying up and the medication is working. We're also trying to bring the medication down a little bit, but right now it looks like my parathyroid glands are still struggling a little bit to produce calcium on their own. So I am still taking a little bit high dose of calcium. When I came home, I was at 25 mLs of calcium. Right now I'm at 15 mLs of calcium. The doctor did say that I can drop it down to 10, but I don't necessarily feel safe doing that yet. During surgery, my entire thyroid got taken out. Some people choose to keep like a left or right side of the thyroid, because it was just like it seemed to have grown within that month. I chose to just take the entire thing out. um, I don't really have any side effects of the medication. So with my last blood draw, it does seem that the medication isn't enough for me. So we are going to increase the dose. But as of right now, with the medication that I'm taking, I don't really feel any side effects, which I'm thankful for, because I was really worried about taking this new medication. Yeah, guys, so this is my story on what has happened to me in the past 3 months, roughly 2 to 3 months. I just wanted to again make this video just in case anybody else needs someone to relate to, or a video to ensure that everything's gonna be okay. um, if you're going through this, everything will be okay. It's gonna be hard, it's not gonna be easy. It is a process, but it does get better. And it's honestly, a big part of it is in your mind. You really have to be positive. It's like a really important part of it. And just trust that everything's gonna be okay, because the second that you're negative and you're down is when it'll all start eating you up. I did notice that once I was being more positive and just doing things to like make me feel better, like just getting up out of bed more and not being so sad, I guess not pitying myself for this situation, I did start to feel better. But yeah, so this is why I wanted to post it. And I know I suck at posting videos. I think I posted like one, and then a month later I posted another one, and then now we're like 8 months later or something. I do hope to start posting more. posting more with my kids and my family and just daily videos. It's just been a lot that I've been going through, but everything is now getting better and I am very grateful for it. If you guys have any suggestions on what videos to post or what you guys want to see, because I really have no idea of what to post, please leave a comment or reach out to me, message me, because any suggestions is really appreciated. And yeah, thank you guys.